Hi, it's Natalie Callback, and I'm here with Gina Lee Kim today. She is an artist in watercolor and also mixed media. She is published in Cloth Paper Scissors, Cloth Paper Scissors Pages, Stampington's, Mixed Media, and Art Journaling magazines. She's an art instructor for Cloth Paper Scissors Art Lessons 2015, and she has 4 DVD and videos coming out in early 2017. And as if that wasn't enough, she is also currently writing a book, which is amazing, about the use of color with watercolor and mixed media. So, hi, Gina.
Hi.
So nice to have you. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
I love that we're both in our studios.
I know. Right? This is the first time we actually see each other, which is so fun. And I have the feeling like I know you already, which is funny, right? Interacting on social media and emails. I hope someday I'm going to meet you in person too.
I know. I felt like I already know you already. That's why we love art. Art brings people together.
Gina, so tell us a little bit about yourself and actually your artwork.
Well, I fell in love with watercolor when I was in a really boring job. I was an executive admin, and I took a watercolor class at a college, like a local college. I fell in love. I mean, the watercolor was like just screaming at me with all the colors and everything like that.
Wow.
And I said, I have to learn this medium. And I painted, and I took a lot of workshops. I didn't even know if I was good or anything. It's just this medium just called to me, and it literally changed my life because I just kept at it. It became this insatiable need to learn this one craft.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helped me to kind of mellow out, and all the life skills that I have, like be calm. Okay, I'll choose some calm colors today, or why don't you be free and expressive? Personality wise, I should be a little bit more like out there. So why don't you use some screaming hot colors? So watercolor, the medium itself, that's my mission, is to maybe entice someone who doesn't work with watercolor as their go-to medium. I know acrylic paint is wonderful in that it dries quickly, but the unfortunate thing is that it dries quickly. So watercolor, I get this a lot, like watercolor is hard. And, I love to deflate that myth, because it's actually quite easy, and I use it with mixed media. I know a lot of acrylic painters, and I painted in acrylics too. But yeah, so that watercolor class just helped me grow. I sought artists. I looked at books, watercolor books, and I would look up their name and see if they taught a workshop. This was back in the day when online, watercolor or any kind of art online wasn't available. Right. You had to fly over there and do workshops. But then sometimes your art goes on hiatus. And after that corporate job, I flew to Massachusetts, met my husband, and I went to nursing school. So at the age of 34, 36, I got a bachelor's in nursing. But even then, I knew I was creative. I was creative. And that was really an eye-opening thing when I was working as a nurse. You're still a creative mind, you're trying to solve a problem, because when you're an artist, I think you're problem solving. Yep. You're constantly problem solving.
That's wonderful. That's true. Yeah. Because what you said, what my problem with watercolor, it's not a real problem, but I'm an acrylic paint user, as you might know. So watercolor, I feel like the watercolor controls me, and I don't control the watercolor. But still, when I work with it, I'm and I think that's part of mixed media too, is that you might get to a stage where you don't like something, but you're trying to solve the problem, whether it be that you let loose of the picture in your head and you say,
Yeah.
I'm going to be okay with it,
That's
or
so
you're
true.
going to be like, I'm going to solve this problem by putting something else on top of it, right, and cover it
That's
up.
right. Hey, I have that problem too. That's why mixed media is so awesome. You
Exactly.
can just collage the
Right.
little oops that you did, and you make multi-layers. That's why I love the textural side of mixed media.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking gels, mediums, whatever, paper, anything additive or embellishment. But I love, like, there's something about watercolor that you just cannot achieve. Um, that plasticky sheen that acrylics is, because it is plastic. It's
Right.
a polymer
Right.
resin, but watercolor is so, like, fluid. I can just achieve, like, brilliant colors instantly, and that's what I love. I'm trying to, like, try to show you something different. It is true. Watercolor is hard. I think one person said it. I wish I knew who was the origin who said this, but watercolor is like, to me, watercolor, she said, is one brush, two brush, and then it's all damage control.
That's so true.
It's so true. And there is something very zen. Oh, you've got to let it, you got to be the paint. You got to be the brush, just let it just flow, and then magically you'll make a painting. That's bullcrap. It's hard. But what does happen is, so I like to do, like, little mixed media, is what happens is what I like to do with watercolor, and this is sort of like my methodology, is the background has to be done in watercolor washes,
Mm-hmm.
Because then washes are easy. It looks celestial. Pigments are bombarding each other, and they're forming into whatever it wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
That I can let go, because in the beginning it's so hard anyway. So why don't we play first? Let's have dessert first.
Exactly.
And let's see how the spillage of color becomes into something. Like, this is something that totally spilled, and I said, what am I going to do with that? And then you put it aside and make
Mm-hmm.
more washes.
Mm-hmm.
But then I returned back to it, and I saw an ocean, and I said, what if I put a little killer whale in there? And what if I did some doodling? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when this watercolor, the dimensionality of adding the mixed media, is such a good marriage for me, because watercolor washes are quick. I'm such a microwave girl. I need to have it done right now. I love to. I work pretty fast. I like to finish a painting, like a 9x12, in an afternoon. There are some journals that I, return back to and tweak, but like we all do. But like a big canvas is a different story. But when it comes to quick, achievable art, with such limited time, that we all have limited time, that's what I do. Watercolor background, let that muse stir.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Creative JumpStart is all about to me. It's just, this kind of your muse is stirred constantly by watching, by mimicking, by, just being inspired. And then I come back and add mixed media elements. Right? And that's when I can confidently say the painting paints itself.
Right.
Because you played in the beginning. That's the foundation. It should not be hard, and it shouldn't be punishing yourself.
Yeah, that's what I say to my students too every time. Like, sometimes you have someone, which I can relate to because I used to be a paralegal. We all have to be very perfect in a lot of our, parts of our lives, right? Whether it be in your job or as a mother or, all kinds of different things. So why would you do this to you in something that you love, a hobby, or, you should embrace yourself. You should be okay. You should let go and just forgive yourself if something doesn't really work out,
Right.
And
it's education.
It's
right. It's a learning experience. Right. Paralegal, I bow to you. You've probably dealt with a lot of clients. I had clients too. I was a registered nurse, and my last job was a pediatric nurse in a psych ward for little children ages 4 to 17. And as sad as it was, we did a lot of art therapy in our group sessions. And a lot of the counselors were in charge of that. But, once in a while I would teach, and it was so amazing to me that art was this common denominator in this group therapy session. And those clients, they never said, I can't do this.
Right.
It was very, and they're young, right? Adults, we come and say, I can't draw a straight line. In a therapeutic, in that traumatic state these kids are going through, during art therapy, I never heard anyone say, I'm a lousy artist, I can't do this.
Right.
They painted the sky red. They painted the grass blue. It doesn't matter. They were expressing some voice. Right. And that was it was really sacred to watch and to witness, because it's not, it wasn't a masterpiece time. It was a process.
Exactly.
Experience. Yeah. And then the take home message, like, what am I complaining about?
Yes.
I have nothing to complain about. We're all grateful. I mean, I have this bucket of water, grateful for water, clean water.
Right.
I have a brush. Okay, maybe a couple of, okay, maybe 1 or 2 brushes. And pigment. That's it.
Right.
Water, a tool to apply your pigment, and then a substrate.
Right.
Like fur or something like that. And it's like, it's so humbling. It's like people say, oh gosh, it's just so, don't you have a lot of, the art supplies that we have is intimidating, I'm sure, if someone was starting in the art world for the first time. But that accumulation, I'm trying to control it for 2017. I'm trying not to buy too much art supplies and actually use what I have. Is anyone else struggling with this?
Yeah, no, I getcha. But I think it's hard because actually Creative JumpStart, watching some of your videos, you're like, oh, I might need this. Like yesterday I was talking to Mary Beth Shaw, and she was talking about that she's working with cold wax. And I was like, what do you mean cold wax? What? You mix it with pigments? I think I need it, But it's just like this curiosity, because we're always, as mixed media artists, you're always constantly on the search to combine something with what you're doing already, because it makes it interesting for you to put something that gets you out of your comfort zone and excited again, right? So
that's part of actually the introduction of my book, is that, and if you love art supplies, it's like, if the love of art supplies, there is some truth to that. I just am trying to learn moderation, but I totally get what you're saying, because as our students are going to watch our Creative JumpStart videos, I'm going to be just like, I'm a student too, I'm learning, and I too have online class, and then on another tab, I have a Dick Blake shopping cart or Amazon on another tab, because it's like, I need that. Oh my gosh, I need that. You know what I mean? Just having it in the cart, you're not buying it.
Right.
You're just putting it in the cart.
Just looking at it. Could be worse. You could buy more shoes.
That's right. Oh, give me art supplies over shoes any day, please.
Actually, I have both, so that's like.
What's equivalent to shoes? Oh, washi tape.
Washi tape, really?
I have a sickness. I collect washi tape. I have way too much. So like this is. I have to put them in like little.
Oh my goodness! They are color coordinated.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad, because they're innocent little tape. They're not going to hurt you. You buy 1,000. I have a kid that probably wants to go to college. I have a family who wants to eat. I don't need groceries. Buy more washi tape.
I have a lot of washi tape too, but I started to just use it up now. I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I never used it. I'm just looking at it and it's pretty, I'm just using it up. And sometimes even for things, like I bring it to the classes and have people like temporarily hold something for a technique that we're doing. And they're like, you're using washi tape? And I'm like, you can keep it if you want.
How
You can
generous.
have more if you want. Like I have enough. So
Okay, so this is good washi tape intervention. I'm going to start using this stuff.
use it.
2017 is where I absolutely, I mean, like using it more,
Right.
before I consume and buy more. So
So
that's, I
Gina,
mean,
you already told us what you use to mix match and how you master your things. I have to say, I was really blown away by your video. I mean, I knew you were awesome, but when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. Like, I really loved how you incorporated different media that I usually use with the watercolor paints. Do you want to let us know or give us a hint of what your video
yeah.
is about?
Uh, Let me see what I actually had a different video sequence in mind, but I was traveling to California in Monterey Bay, and the inspiration there was just too good that I kind of, you don't know this, but I switched the venue and I gave you a better video. Although I had only minimal supplies
Mm-hmm.
that I traveled with, flying to see my family in California, the ocean was just too inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Monterey Bay Aquarium, it was just too inspirational for me. So I modified the venue a bit, and it came out to be a better mixed media with minimal supplies. So if you go to my website, you'll actually see a lot of details of the final artwork that you'll do in the class. But it's so this is sort of like there's a glare there. This is
Put it in the middle if you can. Sorry about that. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, right.
Okay,
So this is
perfect.
um
No,
like
everyone saw it.
idea. The angle, like we use a lot of mixed media. We use, found papers, white gouache, and I just love that. But in the beginning, there is this watercolor play, and I have no idea how it's going to land. And it's kind of joyous. Like, it's like you're creating a little miniature galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, pigments bombarding each other. And then it's sort of like, okay, Gina, you have to stop playing. What's the next step? And it's like, okay. So like colors like that just totally do it for me. And so what I wanted to bring to the class was, you have limited supplies. I do stress, like, if I was stranded on an island, what are the mixed media part that I have to have with me? And it's very true in my workstation. I have to have those 5 things. I have to have salt. I have to have white gouache. I have to have something iridescent and shiny, because it's like an ink, and crayons or oil pastel. And lastly, paper, collage, Japanese origami, sheets, just anything. Because all of these are like really easy to travel with.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to a coffee shop or whatever. And with just a minimal arsenal, you can, like, I wonder what our students will make after this, like, because all of those things can be used alone as mixed media,
Right.
but they can also work together and
Right.
make mixed media. So that was my little angle. And you do need adhesives, because with acrylics and gel mediums, they have that beautiful adhesive quality. And what I travel with is maybe a glue stick or some of the matte gel. I do use light modeling paste, because it's so light. It's so easy to put in your suitcase. Yeah. Do you work with modeling paste anymore?
I do. I mean, I have done more in the past than I right now do.
Right.
Especially since I'm working a lot in the art journal right now, so I try to keep it a little bit more flat. I don't. You use single papers, I know, for your art journals. I work in the book, so I try to keep it a little bit more flat and also
right, so it can turn.
Right, but when I do assemblage or on a canvas, I love to add a lot of. I'm a textured crazy person.
You want to piece.
Yeah. Well, I do. I think it's funny how you said that the pigments. I love that the pigments are bombarding each other. Like, one of the things that I say is that I always compare mixed media kind of like to a jam session. So every art material is kind of like an instrument, and you know how to play one instrument, but then how do you bring it together? Like it's a battle.
Right.
It's not a battle. It's like how do I make it work that all of
Uh-huh.
them play together?
You're
So
absolutely right.
yeah,
Mixed media artists, they're harmonizers.
right,
You're
exactly.
composing something to try to harmonize with one with
Right.
another.
So
And
Gina, that was super. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. How
oh,
rude! That's my German in me. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
Sorry.
No.
Um, what do you think that? So you're the first time on Creative JumpStart. I should have found you earlier, but I'm really happy to have you.
No, we
So
found each other at the right
personally,
time.
as an artist, what do you feel you got out of it, and what would people maybe enjoy about Creative JumpStart?
Well, first and foremost, it's the community. You
Mm-hmm.
can't, it just feels so good that, I mean, you've got some stellar teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm humbled to be a guest teaching this year, but I, I think it's important to just find that there's this energy, a
Mm-hmm.
force of a collective of people interested in the same things. We want to witness some magic happening
Mm-hmm.
on video. And if I can learn one or thing or two to apply to my own working knowledge, even better. And I think it's a phenomenal price for the content
Mm-hmm.
alone. But for that working knowledge, but I think the singular thing is just that creative mojo,
Mm-hmm.
that inspiration that you cannot, sometimes it's hard to be your own inspiring
Mm-hmm.
entity. They say, oh, go walk through nature or something. Are you kidding? It's -7 out there. I'm not going to walk out there. So I know nature is a powerful inspiration for sure, but just to know that that inspiration is sometimes often quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I had a student that said it was really down on herself, and we've all been there when you're on a creative rut. And she says, I've watched your videos and I haven't produced anything worthwhile. And I said, be compassionate for yourself, because I think even watching a video or reading a magazine article or even a novel that's inspirational or just takes your breath away or it's an escape, you are witnessing something. You're still generating mojo seeds, right? You're still planting, like, I am stirred. I'm witnessing something happen. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to produce it right now, but it's that's in me. I watched it. It's in my brain cells. And I said, give yourself a break. It's okay. Sometimes there are seasons you're allowed to just take in, be a sponge, be a creative siphon. And that is so okay.
I think
You're
that's
not,
very important because
yeah.
some people say, oh, that's going to be hard to do. Creative Jumpstart is about like 30 days and you create a habit in 30 days. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do those projects or things in 30 days. As you said, you can just watch it because where do good ideas come from? That's what I'm writing in my book too. Is they come from other ideas, right? Like sometimes we need to watch certain different things, and it can be those videos, it can be something in nature, and it
Mm-hmm.
just like all starts percolating in your brain, and then all of a sudden something new comes out of that. The sum of it is something totally new and yours, and so all of this is worthwhile doing and creating the habit of being creative. So I totally agree with you that just watching a video that you feel inspired, but you might not like go right away. And
Right.
like Joe Roteller, for example, he's using power tools, which I don't have any of those power
No.
tools, but I felt
Right.
so inspired by his video, and there were parts of it where I was like, oh my gosh. I wonder if I can use this material and do something totally different with it without like I don't want to scare you guys, but without like taking a chainsaw out or something.
Or burning the house down.
Yes.
I agree with that. I was watching someone soldering
Oh wow, yeah.
or building a lamp, and I said, "Wow, I could totally see how he's solving this problem and everything. Like, remember the problem
Yeah,
solving?"
exactly.
But I love that, and I get excited knowing that we're not alone. To be easy on yourself, even watching and marinating in something,
Mm-hmm.
this witnessing a craft happening right before your eyes is pretty inspirational. And, take note of it and then move on. And then who knows, down the line, you're going to be like, wait a minute, it'll happen. Things will gel and come together. I learned that from this place. I learned that from that place. And I haven't created a masterpiece yet. No, I don't even make a masterpiece. I always return back to those art journals again and again. I'm never finished. I mean, I think, but yeah, that's one spectacular thing about this class, these workshops. It's going to be with me for a long time, for a very long time.
Cool. Gina, that was so good talking to you. Do you want to add something that's coming up for you besides your amazing DVDs and your awesome book?
Yeah. Well, yes, the DVDs. Oh, we went to Cincinnati and filmed them. I just got my 4 copies in the mail.
Cool.
So I haven't watched. I've been so busy. I haven't watched them. Have you watched your videos from beginning to end?
Can't.
Right. I wonder if they included bloopers. That I'll watch.
Yeah, the bloopers are fun. I cannot watch myself on video afterwards. I'm like, oh God, this is horrible.
I know. Like, oh gosh, it's like, finish your thought process, Gina.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Stop fidgeting. Stop fixing your hair. What are you saying? And then we're so critiquing ourselves. But
when are they coming out? Are they out already?
They are out now, actually. I mean, yay. So you can find them on northlightshop.com or Artist Network TV, where you do instant access. Those are the 2 go-to. I mean, eventually they'll be in Amazon, but I would go to North Shop Light.
And they will be available as a download or as a DVD.
As a full DVD. Yeah. So with that, I am painting like crazy, writing, doing all the writing and the artwork for my new book that's coming out.
When is it coming out, Gina?
Oh, well, if everything happens, smoothly, they're pitching like probably in the winter, end of 2017. This book's a long time to make. And there's a lot of back and forth and fluidity and editing. So end of 2000, I think realistically, like beginning of 2018, like January, February, but it's going to be great. Well, I'll work while the seasons change, and it's going to keep me on my toes. So make beautiful art, Gina. Okay. No pressure. Make sure it looks like eye candy so that it sells. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that yeah. I'm pretty sure that works because your artwork is beautiful, Gina.
Oh,
thank you so much. I wish you a lot of luck with your book. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to hold it in my hand myself soon. And thanks for talking with us. And yeah, see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.